What's up, everybody? Big Hurt, getting down fresh out. You tuned into another episode of Young Hustlers, our new series. Yeah, we're doing it big. We got young entrepreneurs in the house that are out here making moves. And I was fortunate enough to be in the presence of one of the greats. I am the God, Coy. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he has going on. This guy's doing a lot of big things as far as his own clothing line, his own brand, and just being a businessman. So, Coy, how about telling the people a little bit about your background, where you're from, where you grew up, and let them know.
So, I'm from Claremont, California, small town. Grew up to two entrepreneurial parents. My dad started his own business in his young 20s, and he was working in the industry and figured out that he could make more money doing it himself. So he just took the jump. He had me and my younger sister and my mom, and he's taking care of it. And he just went out, and my mom, the cool thing is my mom supported him. She's like, yeah, go for it. It'll turn out better than how they're dicking you around now with your job. So just go for it. So. I was able to watch that up close and see, the risk involved and how much work it takes, but also like the rewards that come from it is like creating your own schedule and not having to ask anybody for vacation time or, worried about, just the simple things, showing up late or whatever. But it comes down to like, I think I learned that there's risk in anything. So you could lose your job. Having a job is not safe.
No guarantee.
Exactly, especially in today's time with technology taking over everything. Like it's not as safe as people think it is. There's probably just as much risk involved anyway. So when it's all on you, though, you feel that pressure and that responsibility, like you got to do it. So. And
being a go-getter like yourself, what was one of the first things you experimented with as far as being your own boss? I know for myself, it was probably collecting cans as a little kid or mowing lawns and stuff like that. I mean, what were some of the things you did younger, as far as hustling like that?
I sold candy at school.
Okay.
Yeah, that was easy money.
This is flipping candy.
Yeah, you get returning customers. That was the best part, every day. And all it takes is $1. Like it's not a big transaction for somebody else, but for you, every dollar adds up. So I was making, in junior high, I was making like $50, $60 a day.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's like minimum wage job right now. You think about it.
I'm doing better than all my peers. Yeah. That's dope, man. Yeah. So you said your mom and your dad were a big influence. And did you have other family members that kind of like had their own thing going on that you can kind of look at to mentor you or that showed you the game?
For sure. I think my first experience watching somebody really close, like with entrepreneurial skills, was my uncle. I have two uncles that are really close to my age, so they're almost like my big brother. So I grew up like really close, following them, thinking they were cool. But my older uncle, he sold everything to all the kids in his neighborhood, and the way that he would charge them for things like really blew my mind. So he would do something first, and it made it cool, and then he would charge them to set up the same way for them. So like I remember one time he took like the wheels off his skateboard, so it was just the deck, and he rode it down the slide. And everybody's like, "Oh, like that's so cool!" So he charged them to take their wheels off their board. Yeah. And then later that day, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the skate park," and they're like, "We don't have any wheels on our board." He's like, "All right, it's gonna be $10 for me to put them back on." And like crazy stuff. Like he literally sold everything. My grandma had a garage full of movies, and he was renting them out when she was on the road.
Blockbuster.
Kids in the neighborhood, and it's crazy. I think the one that stuck with me the most, though, he built a ramp. Like he built it wood from scratch and everything. He built it in the garage, and he charged the kids in the block per jump. It was
per jump?
$5 per jump off the ramp.
Oh wow, that's a hustler right there.
For real. So I was like 6 or 7. And at the time, I was just like, he's crazy. Like, but he's out here making money.
Yeah. That's crazy. We have launch ramps in our neighborhood too, but we'd be out there all day.
Yep.
Wow. So what is the current business you're working on right now? What is the current thing you have going on that you're pursuing?
So I have a clothing line right now. It's been an interesting process, but like I'm building up up and preparing for like a launch, like an actual collection. Before it was just like piece by piece items, but like I'm gonna have a collection. I'm gonna be shooting commercials. Like I'm excited about the commercials. Like I want to do like TV style commercials and have them on social media because everybody does like the vlog style, and I just think like it'd be nice to shift it back to like a more professional type of setting. So I have a clothing line, which is more like for fun almost. It's like a creative expression for me. But I'm working on an app too right now that the mission with it is to provide people access to healthy food and also to allow people to monetize their talent of cooking. So like I'm like really focused on trying to create jobs out of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's something that's important because a lot of people, the barrier to entry to eating healthy or changing their diet is cost. So if I could find a way to bring costs down for people and also find a way to help people make money out of it, then like what's better than that?
It's a win-win.
Yeah. In business, you got to win 3 times. 3 people have to win. So in that situation, I'd be winning, a person who's cooking would be winning, and the person who'd be buying.
Yeah, the consumer at the end.
Yeah.
And how important do you think social media is to actually growing your business these days? I know a lot of people, you know, back in the day, you get a storefront, and now like storefronts are becoming obsolete.
Oh yeah. I mean, what's the point?
You got overhead and stuff. You know?
And most people don't leave their house that much anymore. Anyways. Like it's all on social media. I don't know how many things I bought from Instagram. Like I just put it that way. I bought a $400 suitcase. Like you know, just because I saw it on Instagram, I see it in the comments. Everybody's like, "Oh, I love mine." I'm like, "Oh, all right." It's like
it changed the game, man.
Yeah, it's like Yelp, but just for everything. You know, like it's weird. You literally go on a page, scroll, you can see videos of it, see what people are saying about theirs, you know, and you know somebody had an issue is going to be on there. They're going to be talking shit in the comments, so.
Give you some feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you try to surround yourself around other people who are like-minded as far as like entrepreneurs or you know, business owners? Because I know like for myself, because I do like, you know, similar, I'm my own business owner. It's kind of hard for like a person who works a regular 9 to 5 to relate in certain issues. So I try to like really feed off of other people so I can get that inspiration.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I try to surround myself with people who think differently more though. I find that a lot of times when you surround yourself with people who think like you end up in like a cyclical environment where everybody's kind of doing the same things all the time. And another thing too is like, for people who I know who only surround themselves with people who agree with them, like I usually don't end up liking them as a person. Like if you can't have somebody like go back and forth with you, then you're not that secure in your own beliefs, you know what I mean? So I always try to surround myself with people who will have like a counter argument to what I'm saying, because that's how I learn. Like I learn from other people. And I think the best part about that is I'm constantly being exposed to new ideas and new issues too. Like as an entrepreneur, I feel like our jobs are to minimize like pain points, so problems that people are having in their life. And that's the easiest way to be successful, is to solve a problem for somebody. So if you're constantly around new people, you know, in different environments, whether they're a business owner or they work a 9 to 5, you know, business owners, you know, they're constantly working on something. People who have 9 to 5, I think the difference is like, as an entrepreneur, you have flexibility in your schedule. So there might be a call you have to make in the middle of the day, or you might have to run an errand to somewhere, and you have the ability to do that. But working a 9 to 5, like it's very fixed. You know, during this time you're gonna be working, and that's the same time everybody else is gonna be working.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it makes it hard to do certain things. But each group has different problems, so there's opportunities on both sides. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing, like not just entrepreneur or like an employee, but you know, culturally too. People from different backgrounds, they have different outlooks on the world and on life and everything. I feel like that's why a lot of immigrants that come here build it for themselves, because they know like it's gonna take a lot of work and time and risk. I mean, they already took a huge risk by coming over here.
Yeah,
so
yeah. New country.
The big jumps out of the way for them. But a lot of people who grow up here, they're not ready to take risks like that. because they see what there is to lose and not what there is for them
The
to gain.
game, yeah. Now, as far as like starting your own business, I get a lot of people asking me like, Big Herc, man, you're always talking about being a hustler, an entrepreneur. Like, what do you think it costs to start up to get my business off the ground, or, how would I go about starting this? I mean, what kind of advice would you give to another young person trying to start their own business as far as, financially, what do you think it takes to at least get going, or what should they do?
Service. Starting a service, easiest thing you could do. I mean, some services like obviously require equipment or whatever, but most services don't. It's just time. Like cutting the grass, pulling weeds, painting something. Like these are all things that anybody could do.
Detailing a car.
Exactly, but it just takes time and people don't have the time to do it. So you make a business out of doing it for them, I feel like that's probably the lowest cost is doing a service because you don't have to really pay anybody for anything. You just have to show up and be willing to work, and that's it. And service-based, like marketing is easy. You start in your neighborhood. You start with people you know. You go door to door, leave a business card, $40, $40 for a big pack of business cards. You go leave them on somebody's door. Hey, I do this service in this neighborhood, and I feel like that's the easiest way to start.
No, it makes sense.
Selling products, you have to buy products, and if it's not like a low minimum, you got to buy thousands of them. You have to have a website, you have to have shipping set up, and you have to market on a platform where everybody's already there. But in your neighborhood, it's just the people around you. So, and then somebody's grass start looking real nice. Their neighbor's like, hey, what'd you do different? Oh, this kid's been doing my yard. There you go. So it's a lot easier to start that way. But I feel like the easiest thing is just look around you. Like with social media, the world has become so much smaller. Like online, you're competing with everybody in the world. So location-based services will really like reign supreme because you're there. You know what I mean?
You're tangible. They can touch you.
There's less competition in your neighborhood than there is on Instagram. So being able to provide a service like that is probably the best thing you could do. But I'd say outside of that would just be to look around. Like, how to do something that somebody else doesn't know how to do, or how to do it better. So start there. Like start with something that you can do right now. Everybody's financial situation is different. So I'd say that's all it is. Like how I started designing clothes, I think I bought 5 hoodies on Amazon, and I went to Joann's, I think, and I bought some paint and I just painted on them. And that was it. Like I don't know how to design clothes. I didn't know how to design them on the laptop. I don't know how to sew. I still don't know how to do any of that. Like, and I don't have any interest in learning that because I figured out other ways to do it that make sense for me. So that's all it is. You just got to figure it out.
As far as challenges, what would you say for a person coming into the game is some of the biggest challenges they'll face as far as starting their own business and just trying to get it off the ground?
3 things that came to mind: knowledge, connections, and self-esteem. Those are like the big things. So like self-esteem, you're gonna have so many moments where you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, and you're not going to know what you're doing. That's never gonna go away. Like whatever you're facing, you've never done it before. And until you do it, you're not gonna get comfortable with it. That's a big one that I feel like doesn't just like affect me, but affects a lot of people I know, where they want to get involved in something and they're hesitant because I don't know if I could do it, or is it gonna fail? Blah, blah, blah. But the only way to find out is to just do it. So there you go. That cuts that one out. Connections. In specific industries, people don't want to see new people succeeding, so they kind of keep you out of it. But I think something that I've learned recently is literally, it sounds so cliche, but be yourself. Like everybody wants to impress people all the time, and that shit is so stale. Like everybody's so tired of people trying to come around and impress them. And besides, like, what can you really do that can impress somebody these days? Like, you'd have to like walk in with Jesus next to you. You know what I mean? Like
levitate into the room.
Exactly. Like the things that you would have to do to impress somebody would be ridiculous. So just be yourself. It's much easier to connect with somebody who's like raw in their emotions and honest than it is for somebody who's trying to be cool all the time. And then lastly, knowledge. Like you're gonna have to spend equal time working on something and educating yourself. Especially as an entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs like don't have college degrees, and that's really just like a form of validation that other people have for you. So like, you go to school, you get a degree, blah blah blah. That doesn't mean that you're good at it, but it's just like, do you have some sense of what you're talking about? Like, I know people way smarter than you know, some people went to college and they all they do is read books. Like, they educate themselves and they know what they're doing. But you're gonna have to know what you're doing and know your industry and know like the cycle and the process of things so well that people can't doubt whether you know it or not. Especially as somebody who didn't go to college, like, you have to be willing to put that amount of time in to teach yourself and make sure what you're teaching yourself is good too. So it's like double work. You have to teach it to yourself and check yourself too. It's like being the teacher in a class and the test taker. Like, you got to take the test and then turn around and be like, all right, was this right? Was this right? You know what I mean? So it definitely takes time and energy and effort, but in the end, it ends up being worth it, for sure.
So in closing, man, what are some of the things we could expect from you in the near future? And, you know, what are some of the things you would like to leave the fans with as far as with your brand?
That's a good question. So right now I'm trying to focus on breaking down mental barriers. So like, things I feel like mental blocks, like currently, that's the cool thing like about what I'm trying to do with my clothes. There's always going to be a new mental barrier. It's never going to go away. People are always going to have something that they feel like stops them from succeeding. So right now, what I'm going to do is like, the whole line's going to be gender neutral. So it's going to be one collection. It's not going to be men's and women's. It's going to be one collection. And I'm going to size it so that it kind of has the same style of fit on everybody. It's going to be a challenge, but I think it'll end up being cool. And then it's all focused on like building self-confidence. So everything that I do, like all my designs, it's all purposeful. That's one thing that I feel like really differentiates my brand from other brands, like especially like luxury brands, because it's all about like a false sense of validation. So like, you feel good not because you actually feel good about yourself, but you feel good because other people see that Gucci logo on you. Like yeah, look, like, you know, $500 right here. You know what I mean? But it's fleeting. As soon as you go home, or if somebody else has the same Gucci shirt on, you like, damn, like I ain't the man no more. You know what I mean? So those companies thrive off of that. They thrive off of you getting a kick out of like validating or other people accepting you because of what you're wearing, and it has nothing to do with yourself. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to center everything on us first and then later. Like, and usually if you really enjoy something, people will see that and be like, damn, that's cool, he's having a fucking good ass time. You know what I mean? And everybody, at the end of the day, like, people want to be cool, but everybody wants to be happy. So if I can make people feel good about themselves and make them happy about what they're doing in the process, then I feel like that will win in the end. And I know it's going to take a lot of time, but I'm here for it. Like, it's fun to me. Making something and seeing it, like, designing on my computer, and then like in the mail it comes, I'm like, oh shit, I did this. Like, it's crazy.
Well, that's an interesting concept that you just you just presented there, because it's like, when you think about, like you said, name brands, and it'd be interesting just to see like how that plays out, because like you said, somebody put on Gucci and they'll stop and look like, damn, he got on Gucci. Now imagine, there's a homeless person, and this person, nobody pays attention to him, but then you one day clean him up and put all this stuff on him. How will people look at that individual now who's still homeless but has on Gucci or Louis Vuitton or Hermes? You know what I mean? It's just crazy how these brands now give value to people, but it has nothing to do with the actual person themselves.
Or the quality of their own life. Like,
exactly.
Yes,
you don't know how they're living, but you know that
you got that Louis belt, but like you don't have a car.
But
or you don't have like you're ostracized from your family. Like, yeah, that Louis belt's cool, but how are your kids doing? Like, does your daughter talk to you? Like,
yeah.
Does it really matter anymore at that point?
And on the flip side of that though, it's funny though, because you know, you say you pull up to somewhere and you got a nice car, and then people automatically they want to judge you for that, and it's like, dude, I worked for this.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't treat myself to something nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I have to have something that makes you feel better about yourself. So crazy, you know what I mean? To find that balance, man, because I've seen it, like you said, where some people floss, and then some people, this is just what they drive, and they're like, oh, he's driving that. He must think he's... You don't even know the dude. You know what I mean? You don't know what he just bought the car. Yeah. You know, so it's crazy, man. But I think you're definitely on the right track, man. And you could be inspiration to a lot of young people. And you know, we're gonna have all your links in the description. And if you want to tell anybody, like I don't know what social media you do, so people can kind of look up your stuff.
Yeah, I'm basically just specifically on Insta. Like,
okay.
Any more than Instagram is like, it takes way too much time.
Okay.
So I'm on Instagram. My @ is koi.svg. And then my brand's Instagram, which is not being used at the time, is @wethegods_.
Okay.
So I'll be back on there pretty soon, but I'm basically just like, hey, like focusing on making cool shit. I'm not trying to tell people about something I haven't made yet.
That's right. That's right. There you guys have it. It'll also be in the description. You can check out the links and click on them and, you know, find out about them. But hey, you guys hear from Koi, young entrepreneur, we the gods. This is Big Herc with Fresh Out, Young Hustlers.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.